la idea un poquito de esta primera parte de la sesión es mostraros cómo funciona Peltris, que es una aplicación magnífica, excelente. A mí como profesor me ha cambiado la vida y Alberto un poco me pidió que la mostrara. De verdad, es impresionante y además aplicable a todos los niveles y a todas las asignaturas. ¿De acuerdo? De verdad, si podéis descargar la aplicación, tenéis que registraros que, bueno, la idea es que trasteis también un poco y que podáis ver cómo funciona. ¿De acuerdo? Bueno, básicamente Peltris es un gestor de contenidos. Ese contenido lo puedo, digamos, subir yo o lo puedo copiar de otra gente que ya ha hecho una búsqueda anterior. También, si tengo contenido propio, ya sea en Dropbox, Google Drive, pues lo puedo subir ahí. ¿De acuerdo? Funciona como un escritorio, ¿vale? Una vez que os registráis, para que os hagáis una idea, esta sería mi cuenta, es como un escritorio, es muy visual. Y entonces, a los chavales es muy fácil dirigirles. Oye, buscadme el nombre y la cuenta y luego os metéis en las cajas. Son cajas y dentro de cada caja hay cajones. ¿Vale? Os muestro, por ejemplo, la asignatura de Guía y Debe en español. Una vez que estás dentro, pues yo lo tengo organizado por temas. ¿Vale? Lo podemos organizar como queramos. Primer trimestre, segundo trimestre. Dentro puedo colocar vídeos, documentos, páginas web, PDFs, documentos en Word, PowerPoint, ¿vale? Entonces es muy visual. Entro, yo qué sé, dentro de cualquiera. Miguel Hernández, pues ahí hay unos vídeos de Miguel Hernández, la vida, le podemos poner lo que queramos. ¿De acuerdo? Bueno, sigo un poquito más de la aplicación y luego vamos al escritorio. Lo bueno de la aplicación también es que funciona con el iPad, funciona con el ordenador, la puedo llevar en el móvil, en el iPhone y también permite que yo estoy leyendo un artículo de periódico, digo, oye, este artículo está bien para los chavales, o para mí mismo, para guardarlo, y en ese momento, ahora os enseñaré cómo, le doy un botoncito y ya lo tengo en la caja que yo quiera. ¿Vale? Bueno, la manera también de cómo funciona Peltris es que es todo público. Lo que yo ponga ahí puede acceder cualquiera. Y vosotros podéis acceder a todo lo que otras personas, y hay muchísimo, han puesto. Entonces, tenemos que tener en cuenta que todo es público. Cualquiera puede acceder a lo que coloquemos. ¿Vale? Bueno, Peltris os explica, una vez que os dais de alta, os explica cómo funciona y tiene una sección de preguntas frecuentes, lo único que está en inglés. Yo lo que he hecho es traducir, luego os cuelgo la presentación, y traducir mucho de eso al español, pero la aplicación funciona en inglés. ¿De acuerdo? Bueno, todo lo que yo coloque en Peltris está en la nube y por eso, bueno, pues puedo acceder desde cualquier dispositivo. También funciona, es como organizar todos mis favoritos. Una manera de organizar pues todos esos enlaces que me gustan. Aquí lo tengo de manera muy visual y de cara a los chavales, pues también permite dirigirles, oye, métete en el curso, en tal tema, y ahí tienes un vídeo, tienes un PDF, tienes lo que yo quiera. ¿De acuerdo? Me permite también subir fotos propias, ¿vale? Y ajenas, lógicamente. Me permite también subir pues vídeos, etcétera, etcétera. Y también me permite hacer una búsqueda por temas. Me interesa ecuaciones, la célula, Egipto, pues hay un montón de cosas. ¿De acuerdo? Hay colecciones. ¿De acuerdo? La manera en la cual se organiza es por medio de grandes cajas, y esas cajas tienen cajones. Y dentro de los cajones puedo meter más cajones y más cajones y más cajones. ¿Vale? Entonces está agrupado por grandes temas. Estas cajas y cajones se llaman perlas. ¿De acuerdo? Esas cajas que yo voy creando también permiten compartirlas con otras personas. Oye, métete en tal tema que hay material interesante. ¿De acuerdo? Bueno, esta es un poco la apariencia del escritorio. Entonces, vosotros como veis aquí, pues esta es la mía particular, vais creando grandes cajas. Y dentro de las cajas, cajoncitos. ¿De acuerdo? Entonces, cada uno organiza esto como quiere. Bueno, si destaca, Peltris también destaca, aparte de por permitir almacenar contenido, enlaces, etcétera, es también por el componente social que tiene, porque permite colaborar. Entonces esto es muy fácil de cara a los chavales, crearles equipos y que funcionen de cara al tema que me interesa. Entonces puedo crear equipos de 2 o más personas, ¿vale? Para trabajar en un tema. Oye, vamos a buscar información sobre la pirámide de Egipto. Entonces he encontrado vídeos, tal, y el equipo pues tiene esa caja de colaboración. ¿De acuerdo? También, además de asociarse con otros usuarios, lo que permite es hacer un seguimiento. Oye, voy a seguir a este hombre porque tiene un tema de Egipto que me interesa, y entonces le sigo. A medida que ese hombre va ampliando, retocando, mejorando su caja de Egipto, yo también tengo un seguimiento de esa caja. Tengo acceso a lo que él va haciendo o ella. ¿De acuerdo? Porque, repito, todo es público. También destaca porque puedo utilizar Twitter y Facebook de manera bidireccional. Es decir, todo lo que tengo en Peltris lo puedo llevar a Twitter o a Facebook y al contrario. Muchas veces en Twitter, en Facebook hay cosas, oye, esto está bien, este artículo que han recomendado está bien, ¿vale? Pues me lo puedo subir directamente a Peltris. Permite también dejar comentarios a otras personas que han creado una caja interesante y le puedo mandar un mensaje. También permite mandar mensajes a los miembros del equipo que yo he hecho de cara a colaborar con el tema que sea. ¿De acuerdo? Y ese equipo también tiene su propia caja. Lo único que esa caja también habrá gente que se pueda suscribir. No participará de la elaboración, pero puede hacer un seguimiento. Bueno, en cuanto al funcionamiento, pues ya habéis visto que la pantalla principal imita un escritorio. Ese escritorio pues lo puedo orientar a mis gustos. Puedo poner una foto, si tengo una caja de Miguel Hernández, pues puedo poner un poco una foto de Miguel Hernández para llamar la atención, o puedo escribir títulos. Os lo muestro de nuevo. Este es el escritorio. Entonces, bueno, a mí me permite poner las fotos, poner los títulos como yo quiera. ¿De acuerdo? La manera de recopilar, ahora lo vamos a ver, enlaces, es muy sencillita y lo puedo hacer a través de varios caminos. Ya he dicho que uno de los caminos sería irme a mi Twitter y cosas que me interesan, volcarlas en las cajas o al Facebook. Lo vamos a ver ahora. También lo puedo hacer a través del navegador. Estoy leyendo el periódico que sea, este artículo me interesa, y es darle a un botoncito y directamente lo mete en la caja que yo quiera. Lo vamos a ver ahora, súper sencillo. Bueno, y un poco más y pasamos a la práctica. Tiene también una especie de navegador donde yo le puedo meter, veis aquí el search. Yo puedo, aquí un tema que me interesa, vamos por lo de Egipto, por ejemplo. Le he dado a buscar. Vale, pues me ha sacado todo esto sobre Egipto. Todo esto es gente que ya ha creado cosas sobre Egipto. Habrá buenas, habrá malas, como todo, pero una vez que yo ya he localizado el tema, me ha salido toda esta búsqueda, me meto dentro de las cajas. Esa misma. Vale, pues aquí han metido un vídeo, han metido un mapa, otro vídeo, aquí hay juegos sobre Egipto y otro vídeo y explicaciones. Ah, vale, me gusta, pues me la quedo, la caja, así de sencillo. ¿Vale? Entonces, yo le daría a añadir y me pregunta que dónde la quiero meter, de mi cuenta. Pues tú le dices, pues la quiero aquí en el club de... Pues vale, directamente la tenéis ahí. ¿Vale? Hay otra opción que sería, me gusta la de Egipto, veis cómo la he arrastrado abajo, la tengo ahí preparadita ahora, he arrastrado, no me la, yo al hombre o a la mujer que ha creado esto no se lo quito, hago una copia. ¿Vale? La tengo ahí preparada, me voy a mi cuenta y ahora ya desde ahí decido meterlo pues aquí en latín. Lo suelto y ya está dentro de latín. Aparte de las cosas que ya tenía, veis que está aquí. Muy sencillo, ¿vale? Y hay muchísimo. Podéis trastear, os decía que si habéis bajado la aplicación, podéis poner el tema que os dé la gana. Le dais al search y pues vamos a poner ahí, yo qué sé, ecuaciones. Le dais a buscar y ahora es un poco ver qué hay ahí. Yo qué sé, esto no lo he preparado, pues, ecuaciones de las rectas. Pues me interesa la gráfica esta para mostrarla y no sé qué, me la quedo. La zona esta de abajo es un poco el limbo. Aquí no hay acceso. Esta zona es como de preparación a ver dónde la vais a meter. Esto sí que no es público, esta zona no es pública. Porque todavía no la habéis subido. En el momento que la subís, ya es pública. ¿Vale?
Aquí cuando pones ahí, ¿es que estás moviéndolo o copiándolo?
Copiando porque esto no es mío.
Vale.
En lo mío sí que puedo hacer lo que yo quiera, pero aquí solamente copias. Tú no le quitas, digamos, ese material a la persona que lo ha creado. ¿De acuerdo? Os podéis quedar la caja entera, porque hay veces que dentro de la caja hay otras cajas y dentro de otras cajas, y ves que todo te interesa, pues te llevas la caja entera. ¿Vale? ¿Visto? Bueno, os enseño más posibilidades y luego la idea es que trasteéis, ¿eh? Está genial, ¿eh? Fenomenal. Bueno, por ejemplo, me meto en mi curso de Year 11 de este año, luego podéis crear secciones también, ¿vale? Entonces, por ejemplo, yo quiero añadir... Joder, se fue la conexión. Ahora. Quiero añadir una colección más. La quiero llamar lengua. Le puedo poner una fotito, ya la tengo ahí. Y le puedo poner una foto de identificación. Y si no, te coge la que por defecto tenías en esa caja. En este caso eran estas cosas. ¿Vale? Dentro de lengua, pues quiero meter algo que yo tenía en Dropbox. Pues me voy a mi Dropbox y me interesa de Peltris, pues la presentación que he hecho antes. ¿Vale? Esto de cara a los chavales está muy bien porque os permite de vuestra nube compartirlo. ¿Vale? ¿Veis? Ya está aquí. Ya está ahí la presentación. Chavales, la 10. ¿De acuerdo?
Entonces no tiene explicar todo.
Sí, claro.
Cuando llegas a un sitio que buscas y te aparece un cuadrado y una cifra y luego un filtro de una cifra, ¿eso son las cajas y los cajones?
Sí, eso es. Y el número de veces que se ha visto esa caja. ¿Vale? Ya habéis visto la presentación que os he hecho al inicio y ya está ahí. ¿Vale? Otra posibilidad, desde Google Drive. Sabéis en Google Drive si es compartido con vosotros o si es de vuestro material, pues os vais al Drive, pues en este caso un documento también, le doy a OK y ya lo tienen los chavales ahí dentro, el documento. ¿Vale? Más posibilidades. Estoy leyendo el periódico. Márcalo. No. Vale, me interesa este artículo. Le doy al botoncito de aquí y le digo que ese artículo lo quiero en Peltris. Y me va a preguntar ¿dónde? Pues venga, vamos a meterlo, vamos al inicio, para no marear mucho. Pero yo elijo la carta. ¡Hala! Ya está. En Peltris, el artículo del marca. O de lo que os dé la gana. Fijaos. Ahí está. El artículo que estaba en el periódico. ¿Vale? Entonces, o el vídeo, lo que sea. ¿Cuántas veces no estamos leyendo algo? Esto es interesante. Para mí o para los chavales. Pues es una manera de que eso no se pierda. Sí, lo puedes guardar, pero tienes una cosa aquí, otra cosa allá. Aquí lo tienes totalmente organizado.
Cuando luego lo abres, Antonio, ¿te redirige al marca o te lo abre directamente?
No, ahí depende cómo lo guardes.
O sea, como tú lo has guardado, te redirige.
Sí,
luego...
ahí sí, pero lo puedes guardar como
un documento.
Vale. Más cosas, ¿qué puede hacer esto? Podéis subir fotos, ¿vale? Os vais a añadir y esta foto me gusta, ya está arriba. ¿Vale? ¿Veis un poco? Fotos, le dais a fotos y podéis ir a vuestra propia cámara. Acabo de subir una foto que yo ya tenía guardada, pero pueden ser fotos, hacer una foto en ese momento y la podéis subir también. ¿De acuerdo? Un poco borroso. Ya está ahí arriba, la foto, instantáneamente. ¿Vale? O fotos que ya habéis hecho anteriormente. Bueno, más cosas que permite esto. Podéis subir una nota, ¿vale? Y aquí hacer esto para mañana. Y un documento mucho más largo, pues ya tenéis la nota aquí. A continuación. ¿Vale? Más cosas, sí, que podéis una página web directamente, entonces le ponéis lógicamente marca.es y le dais a añadir, pues ya tienen los chavales, ahí le podemos poner una serie de páginas web chulas para trabajar lo que sea directamente y les lleváis ahí a la página web directamente, ellos pinchan y les lleva a esa página web. ¿De acuerdo? ¿Veis? Lo sencillo.
Los simbolitos de arriba los puedes comentar.
Sí. Bueno.
No se intuyen, pero puedes...
Sí. Bueno, iba a terminar. Déjame que continúe con las cosas que un poco puede hacer. Podéis ir a YouTube, ¿vale? Y veis que hay un vídeo chulo, ¿vale? Lo podéis subir también, ¿de acuerdo? Ahí el procedimiento es otro. También te propone temas similares a los que tú has guardado, ¿vale? Esto lo hace aquí. Entonces, bueno, pues como me han visto ahí conciencias tal, pues te propone cosas similares a las que tú tienes. Como he buscado ecuaciones, pues me está proponiendo esto. ¿Vale? Entonces, luego tú si quieres te das la colección o no. ¿Vale? Más cosas que permite, pues lo que comentaba antes. Enviar cualquier cajón a Facebook, a Twitter, a una serie de contactos que tú elijas, ¿vale? Entonces, pues muy completo. Y luego también lo que permite un poco es temas de diseño, de lo que comentaba, de poner fotos, vídeos, etcétera, etcétera. ¿Dudas? ¿Preguntas? ¿Queréis hacer un pequeño trasteo de algún tema que os guste? Y veréis cómo ofrece pues un montón de cosas chulas. Hay material para aburrir de todos los temas.
Lo de los simbolitos, ¿eso
¿Cuáles?
Eso no, de la principal.
Aquí, ahí tenéis, en este símbolo de acá, pues tienes todo tu curso, en este caso son todos mis cajones, y luego al final del todo, ¿vale? Tenéis aquí también las preguntas frecuentes, las extensiones, es decir, el permitir que vaya a Facebook y a Twitter y que venga de Facebook y de Twitter a Pinterest, el correo, tu perfil, etcétera, etcétera. Ahí está muy claro con las preguntas frecuentes, tenéis ahí, pues os explica mucho mejor en qué consiste y pincháis a la que queráis y esto se abre y ahí te lo explica. ¿Cómo puedo añadir un documento tal? Pues ahí tenéis, tu libro está ahí, solamente está en inglés.
La plataforma funciona en nube, ¿no? O sea, todo eso...
Todo en nube, todo en nube.
O sea, tú puedes relacionar tu nube
Con quien quieras. Yo te puedo seguir a ti en tal caja.
una nube de alojar y todo lo que tú pones en la plataforma.
Es público, es público. La única zona que hay, digamos, de info es la que yo comentaba anteriormente, que es esta de acá, ¿veis? Estas dos. Esto no es público porque, digamos, todavía no lo has subido. En el momento que tú lo subes, cuando te dé la gana, ya es público. Los simbolitos estos, era lo que os comentaba de arriba. Tenéis el de casa, este sería vuestra cuenta, y luego las cajas que tenéis dentro de cada caja, pues puedes ver cuánto material hay. 14, 9, 31, y lo podéis organizar como os dé la gana. Hay recursos, artículos, fotos, enlaces, vídeos.
Borrar también puedes.
¿Perdón?
Borrar también puedes.
Claro, claro. Si es tuyo, vale, se borra de la siguiente manera. Arrastráis y a la papelera abajo. Y a la derecha, y hay una papelera. Entonces, seleccionas y ya está eliminado. Sí. Y de la misma manera podéis meter unas cajas dentro de otra. ¿Veis cómo se queda ahí? Muy intuitivo. Y dentro de cada caja, pues lo mismo. Ahí podéis ir cogiendo cosas, ya está dentro. Ya se quedaría dentro.
¿Y simbolito final entonces qué es?
Esto es para conexiones. Te da, como estaba en una caja muy determinada, me ha dado todo lo que hay relacionado con ese tema. ¿Vale? El anterior te da todo lo relacionado con tus cajas, pero en el momento en que estás en una caja en concreto, te da con esa caja en concreto. Más cosas, esto lo he comentado. Yo creo que está todo. ¿Tenéis alguna duda? Esto es trastear, es echarle tiempo, pero hay muchísimo. Y lo bueno es que permite tenerlo todo como muy organizado. Dentro de este tema hay estos subtemas. Y podéis poner también infinidad de cajones dentro de cajones. Una última cosa, y es que permite la colaboración. ¿Vale? Podéis crear una carpeta de colaboración. Entonces, en esa carpeta invitas a otros miembros a colaborar en función del tema. ¿Vale? Entonces, eso sigue siendo público, pero el trabajo solamente es para los miembros de, digamos, de esa caja. Pero sigue siendo público. ¿Sí?
¿Cómo puedo mover
una caja arrastrando?
para ponerlo aquí?
A ver, pregúntame a mí.
Si quiere poner este,
Seleccionas y ahora ya la mueves. No, pero dentro.
No, pero tienes que dejarla.
Tienes que seleccionar y... Hay muchísimo recurso, muchísimo. Es una maravilla, una pasada. ¿Más dudas? Sí. Sí. Tienes que ir a las flechas, a ecuaciones, ¿vale? Espera, ahora, yo me meto dentro de la tercera, por ejemplo. ¿Vale? ¿Ves estas flechas de arriba? Esto te lleva hacia arriba. Probad a buscar cualquier tema que os interese, ya veréis que hay millones de cosas. Vídeos chulísimos. Dentro de cada carta hay
No, I'm not doing it.
de llevártelo.
I put some school resource. I looked on people and this is totally it only happens to me.
Just before we start, I looked at the number of people in here and I thought, oh gosh, they all really want to learn about apps for, easy apps for education. And then I looked at the alternative, it was maths. So I thought, well, you probably just don't want to do maths. So yeah. Thank you very much everybody for coming. What I want to do is I want to show you some ways to use the skills that you already have as teachers in ways which may be new for some of you. So I've aimed this workshop really at a very basic level, that everybody should be able to do something with some of the tools that I'm going to show you. Okay? I've called it creative thinking because we're all, as teachers, creative thinkers. That's what we do. You have to think about ways of connecting to your audience and making sure that they're able to understand what you're talking about. So there's 3 apps that I asked you to download, those people that registered on the course, there's 3 of them. One is Adobe Spark Page, one is Adobe Spark Video, and the other one is EduCreation. If you don't have all 3 of them, don't worry, because you can sit with somebody who has got them, because I'm sure there are some people in here. Can you just put your hand up if you don't have them? Okay? Does anybody not have an iPad? Okay. Anybody else need an iPad? Does anybody else need an iPad? Plenty to spare here. Okay. So, if you don't have it, please don't download it now. Okay? If you don't have it, please don't download it now. Okay? Excellent. So, the objective of today's session is to explore different tools and see how they might be used in some of your lessons. Now, obviously there's loads of different people here, primary, secondary, different lessons and things. And the thing that most people who are not used to using technology have a problem with is what happens if it goes wrong? What happens if it goes wrong, Now, don't worry. That's the key with this, is don't worry, okay? With every lesson that you do, every single lesson that you do, you have a plan B, right? It's the same with technology. Well, I hope you've got a plan B. But yes, exactly the same with technology. Sometimes a piece of paper and a pen is actually better than a piece of technology. In fact, a lot of the time it is. A lot of the time it is, because when I was at school, I used a piece of paper and a pen. So that's how I've been brought up, and I think most people in here have as well. So that's what we're comfortable with. So that's what I want to start with, is where are you comfortable, and then move you on a little bit to some more of the technological ideas that we've got, and how can we use them. Okay? So we use technology in our classrooms and in our lives all the time. We come across it, and you don't even realise that you're using it a lot of the time. Mobile phones, cash point machines, your projector in your classroom, a mouse, everything. Absolutely everything. We're surrounded by it. But the really important thing that you need to ask yourself is why? What's the point? What's the point of using technology? If there's no point to using it, don't use it. It's that simple. If there's no point to using it, don't use it. Okay. Now this is going to sound very strange, coming from me, who's doing a presentation about using technology in the classroom, but my overwhelming feeling that I want to give to you is if it's not going to enhance your lesson, don't use it. Okay? The same with anything. The only reason you would ever teach a lesson is to make your lesson better. Okay? So the question here is, does technology change the way that we think? Does it change the way that you think? Or does it allow it to express our changing views and changing thoughts in new ways. It's a bit like chicken and egg, isn't it? Is technology helping us to do new things, or are we doing new things as a result of using technology? So it's kind of circular, really. So let's start thinking differently, okay? What I don't want to do is I don't want to stand here for an hour and talk at you. I want you to get active and doing things, okay? Because if we're going to think differently, we need to start acting differently, okay? There are some pieces of string here. There's one for each of the 25 people who have registered on the course. If you didn't register on the course, unfortunately, I haven't cut you a piece of string. Okay? Now, as you can see, what we're going to do, these are two of the kids from my class who just finished yesterday, last year. So, we're going to get ourselves into pairs, okay, with people that you don't normally work with, please. Okay? Preferably with somebody who doesn't even speak the same language as you as their first language. Okay? I want you to get yourself into pairs, and each person needs a piece of string. Okay? So I'm going to come around and give you all string, you get yourself into pairs. Here you are. Okay. There we go. There we go.
That's good then.
Another one.
Don't think it's me, I
There we go. Need any more over here? Okay, it's one between two.
now I'm going to tie this up to the
Okay?
and one is this one mine? I'm not on the list.
Okay.
You're not on the list either.
Does everybody have a piece of string? Yeah? This is the most basic piece of technology.
Trying to give it.
This is the most basic piece of technology that I can think of. Okay? And so what we're going to do is we're going to use technology in a way that you may not have never have thought about, and also overcome problems with technology that you didn't know how to do. Okay? So, can I borrow you please? So what I want you to do is at each end of your piece of string, there's a loop. Okay? I want you to put, in a second, one hand through one loop, and the other hand through the other loop. Go on, yours. But in your partners, if you'll see on the screen here, they're linked together. So, Jorge's done his. I'm going to do this one with mine, like this. Okay, so can we show the ladies over here? So this is where we are now. Okay?
It's your partner.
You'll need to stand up. Ladies, you need to stand up. What you have to do, that's exactly it. What you have to do, everybody, listen, please, just 1 second. What you have to do is, without cutting the string or taking it off your wrist, what I want you to do is separate yourselves so that you're both separate, but your piece of string is still intact. So you have to be doing the knot, you can't take it off your wrist, you have to separate yourself. everybody just look what's happening now. Everybody look what's happening. You're all now looking at these two because they've got the answer. You're now attracted. Seriously, you're now attracted to them because they've worked it out. What are you doing? You're learning from them. Okay? You're learning how to use the technology. Not learning from me. Well, you can't do this. You don't need to do that. Shall I show you? What you do Will you show them how to do it?
I wonder if you put your hands actually on the would it be anything like that? Yours.
Okay, you got it? Yes. You got it?
Yeah.
Okay, those people who've got it, show those people that don't know how to do it how to do it. Show everybody else how to do it.
Like that. It's something to do with getting your hands inside the loops. Is it something to do with putting your hands inside the loops? That one? Yeah, it's got to be like that. It's got to be something to do with
No, you can't put your hands. Okay, I'll show you how to do it. I'll show you how to do it. Okay, I'll show you how to do it. Okay, just a moment, please, everybody. Just a moment. Okay, what you do is you take one little piece of the string here, which is this one, and it's going to go underneath her wrist here, over the top of her hand, and then back down the other side, and then you're apart. It's very simple. It's very, very simple. Okay? See if you can do it. It's too simple. Have you done it? Okay, can you all sit down again, please? You can all sit down again now, please.
Take that middle.
Okay, that's really interesting. Really interesting. Okay. Come again. Okay. If you think about what that process was, that was really, really interesting because everybody had the same technology, everybody had the same problem, and everybody was working in their own ways to try and sort it out. Okay? And then one couple here got the answer. And every single person went, how did you do that? And that's exactly the same with technology. That's exactly the same with technology. Okay? Because I sit here sometimes, like when Alberto was doing his presentation, and he was flicking through that stuff, and I went, how do you do that? That looks great. And that feeling of how do you do that is what I want to give you. That's what I want to give you in this session. Okay, that feeling, how does that work? Okay, there are still people now who says, I still haven't got it, I still don't know how to do it. But that's okay. That's okay, because we've still got the technology and you can practice with it. Okay? So the important thing is this: you can only use technology if you know what it does. Okay, so if you know what it's capable of doing. Yeah? iPads can do loads of things. Computers can do loads of things. Cash point machines, you can pay your bills with a cash point machine. I've never done that. I never needed to do that, but I know it can do it. So if the day comes when I need to do it, I can go to a cash point and do it then. Okay? So, you are all creative thinkers. Every one of you thinks in a way which is creative. Okay? You're all teachers, that's why you went into the job, right? Because you can think in ways which are different and you can reach your students. That's the bit that takes the energy. That's the bit that takes the time, is how am I going to communicate this piece of information to somebody else? When it comes to using technology, there's a model that is used. It's called the SAMR model. Okay? And what that means is there are 4 different levels that we start working through when you use technology. Okay? And the first one, which is what we're going to start with, is substitution. It's literally, I've got a whiteboard here, okay, and I'm going to do something on a whiteboard, but I'm going to do exactly the same thing on an iPad, okay? I've literally just substituted this piece of plastic for an iPad. There is no enhancement whatsoever, there's no improvement, it's just I'm going to use an iPad instead of a whiteboard. So where I would normally, in my classroom, I would ask each child to say, write down what's their favourite colour, and then hold it up. I can then see very quickly as a teacher how many people have got the right answer, who is struggling, who hasn't got an idea at all about what I'm talking about, and I don't have 25 people shouting an answer at me. So I use these a lot in my classroom. I think they're brilliant, okay? And that's the direct substitution for that is the program called Educreations. Okay, so open up Educreations on your iPad for me, please. Write down your favourite colour in Educreations and hold it up so I can see what your favourite colour is. Open Educreations, write down your favourite colour, hold it up so I can see it. Okay, hold it up so I can see it. Black, blue, 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 red, blank, white, I guess, red, blue. Good. Excellent. Red, pink, blue. There's loads of people who've done this. Excellent. Okay. Good. Good. Okay, at the bottom of your screen you'll see a little arrow. There's a little arrow down here. Okay, that goes on to the next screen, so just tap on that. That clears the screen and goes on to the next one. Okay, it's a bit like rubbing it out and then going on to the next one. Okay. Okay. We've literally just substituted one piece of technology for another. It's the most basic thing that you can do. Okay. So if you're worried about using technology in your classroom, don't be, because this is the most simple way that you can start. We're going to start here with substitution. After we've substituted, once you've gained a little bit of confidence using maybe this one app as an example, you can then start augmenting, in other words, making something better or making something a little bit different. Now, the difference, well done, Louise. Finally, there's always one in every class, isn't there? I'm so glad you do. Okay, so my augmentation for this would be maybe using different coloured pens. Okay, so I've got black pens and red pens here and a whiteboard. On yours, you've already got black, blue, red, yellow and green. Augmentation straight away. You're augmenting what you're doing. You're able to use different colours without using a different tool. It's all in the same tool. Okay? So now what I want you to do is clear the page that you're on by using that arrow at the bottom right. Go to the next page and draw me a picture of your favourite animal using 2 colours. draw me a picture of your favourite animal using 2 colours. Okay, when you're done, hold it up. When you're done, hold it up so I can see it. That's been run over. I'm sorry,
It's a unicorn.
No,
You've got a sticky beard.
fantastic. Brilliant. Brilliant. Have you used 2 colours? Have you used 2 colours?
You didn't see what I did
Really?
about my lips.
Not quite sure what that is, but brilliant. Okay. Big hands down. Big hands down. Brilliant. Excellent. Okay. After we've done the augmentation part, which is using a couple of different colours, I want to encourage you to talk during this workshop. That's a great idea. I really do want you to talk, but there's going to be times when I need to talk to you as well. So if I just do this, that means I need to say something. So if you could stop the chats after that. But I want you to talk. That's the important thing. Okay, to exchange your ideas and what you're finding as we go along. Okay. So we've done the augmentation, which is the 2nd colour, 3rd colour, 4th colour. Okay. Modification. So the technology is going to allow for a significant project or task redesign. Okay. What I wanted you to do was to draw me a picture of your favourite animal. Okay. A significant redesign of that might be going onto Google to find a picture of your favourite animal, put it into Educreations, and then start adding labels to that picture and say, what's the habitat of this animal, for example? Where does it live? What does it eat? What's the life cycle of the animal? Okay? So we're then able to use exactly the same tool that we started off with, which was this, but now we're able to do it in a much more interactive way. So what I now want you to do, please, is go to Google, do a search for your favourite animal, okay, whichever that was, and then save it onto your camera roll. And I'll show you how to do that. If anybody's not sure how to do it, let me show you. Okay, look on the screen. Okay. Go to your desktop. Go to Chrome or Safari or whichever you prefer. Do a search for your animal. Do a search for your favourite animal, which is that. Okay. Tap on images here. Okay. And there's some lovely pictures of a sloth. Okay. How do I get on it? I'm going to hold my finger on the picture. Saved image. It's now saved into my computer. So then go into Educreations.
You can do a screenshot, just do that and that one. Yeah, just as a screenshot.
Then I click on the plus here. Okay, so on my clean screen, I click on the plus, picture,
Right, where's my image got this here? Right, so save it. I'm going to
there we go.
Do this one. Yeah, this one at the same time. Is that
Education.
press down on You're going to go back
And then
And how do I get that That's what I checked.
Okay, so everybody now should, I hope, have a picture in Educreations. Yeah?
I've got both my pictures on the same thing.
Okay, no problem. No problem.
Now what do I do?
Anybody having any problems that need any help with? Okay, like I did at the beginning, those people that can do it, I want you to help those people that can't do it. Okay? So put your hand up if you're having a problem, please. Put your hand up if you're having a problem. Good, I'd like somebody to help. Come in, please.
Okay, you've got this one.
Okay, so the next part here is, if I wanted to make a label for this diagram, all I do is I choose the pen tool at the top, choose a colour. You'll notice I've got 3 purples here. You don't have 3 purples. That means you can change the colour. Okay? So, choose a pen, choose a colour, and then I want you to write a label that says leaf in mouth or whatever. You know, something that will add to your picture. Okay, so I'm going to choose yellow. Here, leaf. What we're doing is we're just adding some extra labels to the picture. So tap on a pen, tap on a colour, and then give it a label. Call it Johnny or whatever. Okay?
And you erase any of the picture?
But to be honest with you, the easiest thing to do, go to a new page. Just the bottom right here, go to a new page.
I mean, you know, there any information there, I'd like to read this. Or do you have to do separate, or you can delete this?
Just, like I said, the easiest thing to do is just go to a new page. Undo. That's the only way you can do it, just undo. One stage at a time. No. If you go to here, and then you go to delete. Yes, you go. Okay? Is everybody happy? Yeah? Everybody's happy? Good. Ready to do it?
The thing is, can you put this on?
Fantastic. Very good. Very patriotic. Very patriotic. Okay, good. And the last one. The last stage in our transformation of when we're using technology. Brilliant, thank you. The last stage is redefinition. Now this is doing something you could never do without technology. You can do all of this without technology. You could draw it on a piece of paper, you could use a pen, you could use paint, you could use paint, anything. But redefinition literally means I cannot do this without technology. So we've already looked at clouds technology, collaborative thinking, collaborative learning, sharing of documents, group working on a single document. Now that's not possible without technology. Okay? That's not possible without technology. And what Educreations does, which is a brilliant little thing, is it allows you to record exactly what you're drawing and saying at the same time. So that's not possible without technology. Now you'll notice at the top top of the screen, you've got the little microphone here. Okay. Now, I don't want everybody to start talking at the same time, because that's going to make it quite difficult. But basically, what you can do, if you've done the flipped classroom workshop already, this is a way of using flipped technology. So you can be at home, you can create your own lesson, you can say whatever you need to say, record it, write on it, and it will record it as a video with your voice on it. Okay? So this is brilliant. This is really good. This is something that I use quite a lot. And I also encourage the children to use it too when they're doing explanations at the end of a lesson. What have you just learned? For example, we've just done something about the water cycle in science. So what the children did, they used traditional methods. They drew on a piece of paper a picture of a mountain, a cloud, a stream, and some grass. Then they took a photograph of that and put it into Educreations. They then used that picture as a background to show the movement of the water around the water cycle. So it starts off in the cloud, goes to the river, and it just goes round and round. And I'll show you examples of how I've used this a bit later. Okay? But hopefully what you can do is you can see uses for this in your own subjects. Okay? Where you can start using this and think about it, because this is just one use of it. It's very simple, very basic, and this is what I wanted to do, is make it as accessible for everybody as possible. Okay? Any questions so far? Okay, good. So let's go on to the next part. The SAMR model, this is a bit dry. I don't really like this as a way of trying to transmit information to people. Now, as you know, anybody who knows me knows I love coffee. So what I've done is I've created the SAMR model for coffee. Okay, so we're going to have a substitute. This is, if you imagine you're going into Starbucks, right? Who's ever tried to order just a coffee? This is your basic substitution. I want a cup of coffee, you'll get that. Okay? Substitution, it's a posh cup of coffee. Alright? That's exactly what we've just done. We have substituted ordinary for posh. Right? Then what we do is you add a little bit of something to it. You make it a little bit better. Okay? So we're going to have a latte. Okay? So the same with what we've just been looking at here. We've added the extra two colours, didn't we? Yeah? So that's like asking for a latte and stuff. Caramel macchiato. This is the modification. Okay? Now you can do this with ordinary coffee at home if you wanted to, but you wouldn't want to, really, would you? You just want to have all these extra flavours and things. Somebody else is going to do it for you, nice and easy. And this one here is supposed to be, you can't do it without the technology. And here it's a pumpkin spice. It's a pumpkin. But it's about showing a progression in how complicated things can be. Okay, it's nice and simple. This is the substitution, augmentation, modification, and the last one there is the redefinition. Right, now then. This was something that I did in another workshop for, I think it was the beginning of last year, I can't remember. But it was a little demonstration I used to talk about the iCloud. Has anybody ever heard of the iCloud? The Apple device's iCloud? Okay, good. So what I was saying is, this is your iPad, this is an Apple mobile phone or a regular mobile phone, and this is a computer. And what you do with the cloud is you create something anywhere here, then you save it to your cloud up here, and then wherever you are, you can access it again on any device because they're all using the same username and password. That was a substitution. Okay? That's a substitution. So I've used it as an idea. Okay? Who has ever written a shopping list at home on a piece of paper and a pen? Right? One or two, right? And then you think, oh God! And then you get your mobile phone out, and then you take a photograph of your list, so that when you go shopping, you don't look like a complete wally with a list like this. You just look like you're, checking Facebook or something on your phone, right? I do this all the time. And this is what I wanted to show you, is some uses for that kind of substitution, okay? Because we use this all the time at home. I also use this now in my classroom, okay? And it's great for getting the kids involved and connected, because that's what I want to do with each of the classes I do, is connect to the kids, okay? So this is the first one that I did. This is my very first shopping list that I ever wrote on a piece of toilet paper. I didn't want to take my toilet paper into the supermarket, it didn't look very hygienic. So I've got my kiwis, my bananas, my bird food and my goat food, all the way through it. I needed to remember what I had to do. Okay, so that's just the most basic one. The next application of it is when I was doing some studying, doing some psychology studying, I needed to make notes, and I was going on an aeroplane, and I wanted to do some studying when I went back to the UK to do the exam. And so what I did was took a photograph of my essay plan, which I was going to be writing, and so I could use this really mobile. Really, it makes it so much easier. Now, if you think about that as a situation where I need to be able to access that information wherever I am, think about your students. Where do they need to access information that they have written or drawn? Okay? So, the next part here. In primary, we do a list of spellings every week. We use the whiteboards, just the same as this one, every week. And I leave these on the board for the entire week, so the children can look at them, they can use them in their writing in the week, they can practice how they spell, they become familiar with the way that they look. But then on Friday, I have to rub them off, then do a test, and then write them on again. But I don't need to write them on, I take a photograph and then project it. Okay? It's really simple. And this is what I'm saying to you, technology is really useful, and it saves me some time. It saves me some time. What's the next one I've got for you here? Here, there was a printout. There was a printout that we had for one of the units that we were doing in the Ironman, one of the extracts that the children had to read. So they all had their own piece of paper with this on, and I asked them to look for adverbs in the text. And so on the screen here, what I can now do is I can now take my pen and say, there you go, there are a load of adverbs here from the piece of paper that they've got. And then they can highlight their own piece of paper and save it as evidence in their books about what they want to do. But again, this is not just a primary resource, this can be used in secondary as well. It can be used in secondary. So think about ways that you can utilise this, okay? This idea of taking a photograph of something and then sharing it with your class and then asking them to participate is really key. Now here, I needed evidence to show what a child had written on a whiteboard. Okay? Now I've got this permanently. I now have this permanently. So Quentin Blake was the illustrator for a lot of Roald Dahl's books, as you know. And so we did a little bit of a character story about him. And I wanted them to use their iPad to do the research part and then write it down, but just on a whiteboard. So they were then using the technology together. So it becomes normalised for them too. So they can use the technology and the basic technology at the same time. So it becomes normal for them. So he wrote down some ideas here. I took a photograph of it, and then I put it up on the board. I then put it up on the board, and we all, as groups, said, did you find out that? What did you find out about? Is this right? Did your group also find out when he got his CBE? Is 2005 the right year, for example? And then we could critique the researching that they have done. And the last one that I want to show you is, oh, that was the water cycle one. So they drew the picture, then you just draw the water cycle. The last one that I want to show you is this one here. What I do in my classes, especially with literacy, is I get the children to critique each other's work. So they do peer marking. So what we do is we say, I would give this, I don't know, maybe a level 3A in the English system, or a level 2A, or whatever it happens to be. To get to the next level, what we're looking for is to find more adverbs, we're looking for more adjectival phrases, we're looking for capital letters and full stops. So I tell them what to look for, and then they examine the work themselves. And it makes them better learners because they're examining somebody else's work and they know exactly what I'm looking for to give them feedback. So technically it's peer marking. It's peer marking, so they can all work with each other and they can help each other to be better. So when you are working in your small groups together, like we've been talking here, they're used to having critiques from each other in a constructive way. Be careful when you're doing this. Be careful when you're doing this. And the reason I say that is because there are some children who will really benefit hugely from this, and they tend to be the middle of your class. The ones that are right at the top of your class, they don't like criticism very much. The ones at the bottom get embarrassed, okay? So I work with mixed groups so that there's always a mixture of opinions and a mixture of ideas about how we can make things better. So they will always have their own targets about what they want to do individually. So you would do this normally on their own piece of work first. How can you make your own work better? And then you can share it in your group. How can you make somebody else's work better? And then, when you're doing your peer marking and peer collaboration, at the end, it makes it much more, it's a much stronger position for your children to be in order to help themselves. Does that make sense, what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. So yeah, these are all examples of augmentation. I want to show you the EduCreations video that I made that goes along with the water cycle, which is this one here.
It's like an area on the internet where you can back up your files and your photos and your videos and anything you've created on your iPad, and you can save it there nice and safely. So that it's not always on your iPad, but you can gain access to it whenever you need to. So for example, if you're taking photos, one of the things it automatically does is it will give you the option to save it to your iCloud storage. So it goes up to your iPad, and then you can retrieve it again whenever you want to. So there might be a copy on your iPad and then a copy in the cloud. That is where your main copy is. That's the master copy goes into the cloud. So that when you have another device, maybe you've got an Apple mobile phone, or you've got a computer or something like that, or even another Apple mobile device, if you want to get a copy of that picture, all you need to do is, using your Apple ID, you gain access to the red area, which is your iCloud. You gain access to the photographs or the data that's there, and then you can download them to the device that you're working on at the time. Once you finish editing and changing whatever you need to do, then it will always go back into this little red area up in the iCloud. So your master copy, like I say, is always kept in this red area here. Now this is significant because it allows us to do truly mobile computing. So you can use this device, you can use this device, you can use this device whenever you want to and edit exactly the same document. You're always working on the same document. It's always the latest version of that document. There we go. There's the iCloud.
So as you can see, that's what I started with you originally, but I've augmented it. I've made it better by making it into a little video. So like I said, if you're going to use this for flipped classroom, and you don't have a video that you can find on the internet, and you want to create your own, this is a great way of doing it. A really good way of doing it. Yeah.
So how did you make the video? Through Edu?
Exactly the same way. Yeah, through EduCreations, all I did was I started off with a blank sheet with just by pressing the arrow at the bottom right hand side. Then the first thing that I did was I pressed the microphone button at the top left hand corner, the red circle. Then I started talking and then just doing my lesson as if I was in front of the class on a whiteboard.
But at the same time?
Yeah. Yeah, I just talk and I do this at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then just press it again and it stops.
And then I just press it again and it stops. And then that's it. It just saves it to EduCreations and it's great. And then you can then share this video with other people as well.
And then do you share it through Educations?
Yes, you can share it through a link and you can share it through Educations as well. Yeah. Through Google Drive, through Educations itself, you can give your kids a login and that sort of stuff. Really simple.
But I think, sorry, if you give your kids a login, can they see everything that you've got on there or just that one thing?
Right, let's go on to that in just a second. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about cloud computing in a second. So let's talk about the creation of the resources first, and then how do we share them in a little bit. Okay. So does this make sense? Can anybody think of a way that they could use this in their own classroom?
Yes.
Yeah? Yeah? Brilliant. So let's go here. The last two applications, I'm aware of the time as well. The last couple of applications I want to show you are both really simple. Both really simple, just as easy as Educreations has been. If you think about what I've done when I was teaching you Educreations, how to use it, I haven't taught you anything. You've just explored it and found out for yourself how to do it, pretty much. I haven't really taught you anything. You've just explored it, and you've looked at it, and you've said, well, let's see what happens if I do this. Jorge said to me, what's that for? You know, and that's great. That's what you want to encourage in your classroom. Questioning all the time. Kids should be questioning you all the time. Talking of which,
How do you save it? You know, like what you've done.
it is now automatically saved. It's automatically saved. Now with Educreations is the one that I've been using for the last 2 years or so, and you can only do one of these, okay, as a lesson. However, there's another program called Show Me, which is, I haven't used it, but it's been highly recommended. Exactly. Show Me, okay. Now, what Show Me is almost identical to this, which is why it's okay for me to show you this, okay? But it works so that you can have as many as you like, okay? So, Educreations and Adobe, I don't know if anybody uses Adobe very often. No, Adobe has one of the things that Adobe do. The principle of working is to make things simple and beautiful. That's kind of, it's like one of the things from Steve Jobs. Make it simple, make it beautiful. One of those very simple things to do. And they've created these two fantastic applications, and I can't recommend them enough for everybody. Okay, it's Adobe Spark Video and Spark Page. They are brilliant. I'm going to show you Spark Video first, okay, and I'm going to explain to you first why would I use this. Okay, first why would I use it, and then this is what I've done. When we're looking at languages, the learning process, as you all know, is if you hear it, you can say it, and if you can say it, you can write it. Okay, it's about rehearsals the whole time. Okay, you may not be able to write it perfectly, but if you hear it, you can say it. If you can say it, you can write it. What this application does is it allows your children, your students, to rehearse what they're going to say and what they're going to write. Okay, so we're actually going to listen to the rehearsal of what they're going to write. In fact, it's my rehearsal of what I was going to write. Let me show you.
Well done.
This is my myths and legends topic.
Zeus was king of the gods. He decided that his son Epimetheus needed a wife. Along came Pandora, the most beautiful woman he had ever seen. Epimetheus and Pandora fell madly in love and they were married. And Zeus gave them a very special wedding gift. He gave them a box, and he said that they must never open it. Now, Pandora was very curious about the box, and one day, her curiosity got the better of her, and she went to the box, and said, I wonder what's inside this box. So she opened the box, and out flew lots and lots of evil, horrible spirits. She quickly shut the box again to try and stop any more things from coming out, and then she heard a voice coming from inside the box. Let me out! I'm hungry. everybody a visit. This is the story of Pandora's box. Hope followed all of the evil spirits around the world, and where she left them with hope.
So it's a very simple way to help children to prepare themselves for their writing. In Valenciano, in Spanish, in English, in German, it doesn't matter which language, it helps them to prepare what they're going to say. It also gives them the confidence to be able to start talking out loud as well. So if you're having any problems with children and their confidence about speaking the language, the target language, then this is a great way, because I call this a distraction technique. So they're actually not talking to anybody, they're talking to their computer. And it helps them to build their confidence in this way of expressing themselves and experimenting. Okay? So can everybody now please go into Adobe Spark Video on their computer, on their iPad, and where it says log in at the beginning, where it says log in, I want you to log in using these details here. So it's p.harbour@laudenewtoncollege.com and Mr. H 2016 A. It needs to be that way. It has to be that way. You can only record one video. Show me, you can Okay, so p.harbour@laudenewtoncollege.com. Okay? Okay, so if you tap down on here, okay, and then log out of yours, and log into mine. So sign out, sign in. Okay? Yeah. Right, once you've joined this, p.harbour@laudenewtoncollege.com. Yeah, you put the whole thing in, and then the capital letters count. And then the small I.
Is that dot after the A? Is that a dot after the A?
No. Oh no, you're trying to sign into Google, that's why. You don't want to sign in with your Google account, you want to log in with the Adobe ID. So log in with the Adobe ID. I'm not through Google. Okay, once you are in, you will see that there are 3 buttons at the bottom, one of which says My Projects. So the bottom right is My Projects. Can you just tap on My Projects? My Videos. Sorry, My Videos. My Videos. Okay. Now what you will see is this is all the work from my class. All of the work from my class. And you can have Carmen for social sciences and for Spanish, and she's used this for looking at prehistory. She's helped the children to create new things with prehistory, right? I've used it to help them with their myths and legends writing, so they can then preview and practice making their own thing. And it is so simple to use this, okay? Let's make a new one, okay? Everybody in here can now make a new one. How do you think you're going to do that? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Okay? What do you think you do next?
No, that's all right. Right title.
Yeah. And I want you to create a video about your favourite animal. Dead simple. Really simple. Okay? So click on the plus.
Yeah.
And then is it just made on my own?
There we go.
Just you.
My favourite animals as well. Draw a dog,
If you're used to using this already, then please feel free to look at the other examples of work that my children have done. Okay?
You read bit by bit.
What do you mean?
You align, you mark, you check. Alright, you carry on. That's right.
This is my
And you can change each one. It's exactly the same as the editing process in any writing. You do. You can write one sentence, check it, and write a sentence, check it.
He is very friendly.
So I stopped it, but I didn't.
All done again.
I mean, I would never ever wear it again for that I've now got a matching handbag and one shoe. I have to chop my leg off.
Share this. Put a Facebook next to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
That's nothing to do with the science club.
That's okay.
Good stuff.
So now you can delete that link and put it across the screen. Okay. Music. That channel.
Okay? Just say something about your favourite. It's very simple. A photo and something.
Adding music to it.
Let's start from the beginning.
Well, I've got the music.
music's coming on.
No idea. I started playing.
There we go. There we go. So let's go back into Spark.
But I'm aware of the time, and I know that we've run over a little bit. Is everybody still okay for just another 2 or 3 minutes? Yeah? Okay, good. Okay, if we can just stop just for a second. Just stop for a second if you would mind, please. The key with this is play with it. The key with this is play with it. Okay? The key with it is play with it, experiment with it. You can't go wrong, you can't break it. Don't worry, okay? What I really want to encourage you to try and do is find ways that you can apply this in your lessons. Okay? Because it's such a simple tool that can be used everywhere. I don't know if you've noticed or not, but when I did my original presentation, this is in a program called Spark Pages. That thing there, the way that I move through all the pages here, this is in Spark Pages, and it's just as easy to use as Spark Video is. You can add in different elements and different words. It's just like a presentation, well, it is a presentation tool, just like PowerPoint, but it's made by Adobe, so it looks great, you know. So there's different elements to it. I just put in different photographs. All of these I've just got from the internet. Some random girl off the internet, I don't know who she is. Wouldn't be the first one. And then again down here, this part here is just photographs, like a photo grid. You can put this in, use it for presentations, use it for whatever you want to use it for. Okay, but I really want by the end of this session for you to be confident to have a play with stuff, you know, and find out what it can do and use it in your lessons. Okay? Any questions so far? No? Okay, good. In that case, what I'd like you to do then, please.
Doodle buddy.
I was going to do a Kahoot for the end for the feedback, but I don't think we need to do that now. If you've got time to do a quick Kahoot, put your hand up, will you? No, okay, cool, no problem, we won't do it. But I do need you to fill in these though, again, before you go, thank you very much. So if there's anybody who has any questions you want to ask me one-to-one, I'm going to be here afterwards. If you want to ask me now, cool, I can answer them for everybody. Any questions?
Can you really, you know when you say use the cloud,
Yeah.
you suggest then things like USB and that, can you trust the cloud is it to save everything? Because use on the internet.
Completely.
Yeah.
I mean, what I've done with this account here, for example, my Adobe ID, is I've created a class Adobe ID so that I only use this for my classwork. I don't use it for personal stuff, I don't use it for anything outside school. That account there, my Adobe ID, is only used for school stuff. And that's what I suggest you do, is when you're creating your Adobe ID, or when you're creating a cloud account of any kind, only use it for school stuff.
Can the sloppy kids get on your cloud?
No.
Resources on, no, I mean?
No, they can't. No.
So especially with things like the Schoology and all that.
Exactly. So you use it as a storage, so you can then choose what you want to put into the various different places. Yeah?
Thank you.
Any other questions? No? Welcome to my world, everybody. Welcome to my world. Okay, thank you very much.